right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Those scattered showers and strong thunderstorms are moving out, clearing overnight. Expect nice temperatures this week as more schools open back up. I'll have the numbers.
New details tonight in the deaths of 2 construction workers in Edwardsville. City officials tell us what led to the recovery of their bodies.
We are responding to a great need in the St. Louis metropolitan area.
Flooding assistance continues nearly a month after historic rainfall. One local organization's efforts to help get people back on their feet.
Thank you for joining us for your news at 10. I'm Holden Kerwicki. It's been nearly 1 month since historic flooding damaged many homes and businesses across the St. Louis area, and the cleanup is far from over. Today, thousands of families showed up to the Urban League headquarters for assistance. New tonight, 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay gives us a closer look at the ongoing relief efforts.
About 3,000 families came here to the Urban League to get much needed help, and you can tell that help is so needed just by the line alone. If you actually take a look right here, they have people curved out on the street because of the demand, and even halfway through the event, they even had to break it up into 2 lines just to get people all the way through.
Hi, how are you?
Car after car rolled up to the Urban League on Saturday afternoon.
We are responding to a great need in the St. Louis metropolitan area.
Volunteers stuffed trunks with food and cleaning supplies.
Many families were impacted by the flood, but many families have never recovered from the pandemic.
Going from resident to resident, James Clark with the Urban League describes it as heartbreaking, hearing people's stories.
I've worked in this space since 1989 consistently, and I've never seen times like these.
These hard times are why thousands of families showed up from all over the St. Louis area.
We were surprised, but we were prepared.
One of the many in line was former Urban League employee Mary Hayes. Her garage and basement were completely flooded out.
It was very devastating. It was kind of scary because when I kept seeing the water rising, I thought it might get into the apartment.
Losing everything from furniture to books, this is the second time Hayes has been flooded in this apartment.
I'm not putting anything else back down there as long as I'm living there.
At the end of the day, Clark's wish is that every car that drove off with much more than just supplies.
We want people to take away a sense of hope, and then we want the people that we touch to go out and touch others.
In St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Mercedes. Urban League volunteers ended up giving away all of the food and cleaning supplies that they had on hand. They even continued to serve residents hours after the event ended. Today, FEMA opened a disaster recovery center in St. Charles. Any Missourian affected by flooding in late July can go to the center to apply for relief funds. Those funds can go towards relocation, replacing personal property, home repairs, and reimbursement for temporary housing. FEMA has already provided more than $15 million in grants to more than 4,000 households.
More than 500 people have already visited disaster recovery centers, and they're going to stay open generally for as long as we continue to see need from the general public.
The St. Charles and St. Louis FEMA disaster recovery centers are open from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. 7 days a week until further notice. We have more information on KSTK.com and on the 5 on Your Side news app. And just a reminder, we do have a link for people who need help following the flood. All you have to do is text the word HELP to the number on your screen. That's 314-425-5355. Your dinner plans may have been interrupted tonight by a little bit of rain and some lightning. Some areas stayed dry, others saw drizzle or even a thunderstorm. Meteorologist Jim Castillo joins us now with a look at your forecast. And Jim, I was telling you earlier, I actually saw a rainbow on the way home.
Yes, you know, in Maine weather, so friends of mine had a rainbow. They sent the picture to me, and I'll show you that coming up in a minute. But Holden, we had some really heavy storms in some spots. Other areas stayed very dry. Last warning was in southern Iron County with golf ball size hail in and right along Route 49 down there. But that has since been canceled. We almost had to stay in storm alert, which we were in most of the night. And you can see as I zoom into northeastern portions of our area, which includes Ramsey, a little thunderstorm activity just north of there. That heaviest activity is moving out of the area. And then Potosi, new cells down there, Reynolds County, and then also watching Iron County and also east of Chester in Illinois. So there's still a lot of activity down south and around home, Madison County, Bethalto, and also Godfrey, Illinois. Some showers and storms still out there tonight. We'll zoom into some of these areas again coming up in Maine weather and also let you know about some really dry weather coming our way.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Developing tonight, a woman is in the hospital after she was shot in the head while driving in North St. Louis. Police say the victim then crashed into a home on St. Ferdinand Avenue near Annie Malone. Here's video from the scene around 7 o'clock tonight. We spotted numerous shell markers in the area. The victim was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Police have not released any suspect information yet tonight. It was a busy day for St. Louis firefighters. Just before 7:30 this morning, they were called to a 2-alarm fire at a vacant warehouse in North City. Conditions inside the building became too dangerous, so they had to evacuate, then use defensive operations to bring the fire under control. Fire officials told 5 on Your Side crews would continue monitoring the fire into the evening. At this point, there are no reports of any injuries. New information on the deaths of 2 construction workers in Edwardsville. 5 on Your Side has learned the 2 men entered an underground manhole yesterday afternoon. Fire Chief James Whiteford tells us they were found in an area with very little oxygen and a buildup of toxic gas. First responders attempted to rescue them, but that transitioned into a recovery effort. Their names and an official cause of death have not been released. An Edwardsville police officer was taken to the hospital for evaluation and later released. Tonight, a sigh of relief for thousands of people in the Collinsville area. The boil order was lifted earlier this afternoon, days after a major water main break left thousands of homes and businesses without water. Crews worked around the clock and restored the water on Thursday morning. One of the busiest roads in the bi-state remains closed for about 31 more hours. Both east and westbound I-270 are closed at Lindbergh Boulevard. MoDOT crews are working around the clock to demolish the old overpass. The work is part of the $278 million I-270 North project. The plan at this point is to reopen the highway at 5 a.m. Monday ahead of the morning commute.
Historic flooding woes. Problems remain long after the waters recede. Now one woman wants you to know the risk.
And now I can't sell it. I can't do anything with it.
Why reading the fine print is vital when buying flood insurance. The Bonarito 500 roared through the bi-state today. The familiar face who kicked off the IndyCar race.
The Bonarito 500 is in the books tonight, but did you happen to see who was driving the pace car? That's 5 on Your Side's Monica Adams leading the drivers ahead of the green flag. Ahmad will have a recap of the IndyCar race later in sports. We're going to have to get the details of how she got inside of that car. Today, an African bazaar took over the Crown Square Plaza in North St. Louis. The annual St. Louis African American Artifacts Festival and Bazaar made its grand return today. The event celebrates the rich history and culture of people of African descent. We caught up with one business owner who has African ties.
My clothing and a lot of my jewelry and fanny pack and fans and all of those things that I have here today are made, handmade back home in Togo and Ghana, and I work with local artisans there in order to procure those things and bring it here to the St. Louis community.
The festival returned after being canceled 2 years in a row due to the COVID pandemic.
And weather-wise, this is the current radar. Really, over the past hour, you can see some showers and thunderstorms still out there. No warnings or watches, but we'll update you on this coming up.
As record flooding devastated parts of our area, experts say your risk of flooding may actually be a little higher than you think. The I-Team's Paula Vassan speaks with a woman in St. Louis County who lost everything from flooding a few years ago. And as a warning with residents, she wishes her family had known.
Historic flooding has pummeled the St. Louis area in the last few weeks.
We are on location with Rescue Squad 1 and Engine 28.
Leading to rescues.
I stood in water up to my knees.
And hundreds of people without homes. Sandy Starnes remembers.
We lost everything.
Once filled with memories.
That kitchen in there was my mom's pride and joy.
This home where Sandy Starnes lived with her parents for 10 years.
It was the first house they ever owned.
is now too dangerous to go inside. Memories now covered by mold.
It got up into the main level. You can see where it's rusted too.
A flood in 2019 made this home in Lime unlivable. Starnes believes real estate agents were misleading about the seriousness of the risk. She says her parents, who've since passed away, paid the price.
They were given the impression that it's not really a big deal.
She says her family did know they were in what the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, calls a high-risk flood zone. And since they also had a federally backed mortgage, it meant they had to buy flood insurance. Her father thought it would be the ultimate safety net.
He thought if there was any major flooding, flood insurance would give him money to repair or replace anything that's lost during the flood.
In 2019, when they lost everything, she says FEMA paid about $50,000 to cover the rest of the mortgage, but it didn't cover the extent of their loss.
And now I can't sell it. I can't do anything with it.
Federal records show this home is in one of the most flood-prone areas of the country, smack in between Gravois Creek and River des Peres. Data from FEMA shows the risk of flooding here is at least 1% each year. But that risk compounds with time. So over a typical 30-year mortgage, there's actually a more than 26% chance of serious flooding. Many experts believe even this underestimates the threat. What can people do to protect themselves?
No matter where you live, FEMA encourages everyone to buy flood insurance.
FEMA spokesperson John Mills also advises to read the fine print.
Read your policy carefully to understand what it covers.
And it's especially important, experts say, because of where we are. Federal data shows Missouri is one of about a dozen states in the U.S. that doesn't require documentation for sellers to disclose flood risk. There is no federal law.
We do find that there's, many more homes that have risk.
Michael Lopez works at First Street Foundation, which factors in climate change to analyze flood risk. His nonprofit's research shows in St. Louis County alone, there are more than 15,000 properties that may be at serious risk of flooding, but aren't considered to be in what FEMA calls a high-risk flood zone. Lopez says FEMA's flood maps, which many people use to figure out their risk level, don't capture the full picture. He says it's largely because of regulatory hurdles that mean it can take up to 7 years to make updates.
Which means that by the time a new map comes out, it's already out of date.
He also says FEMA is pressured to not update those maps. Property owners, he says, don't want neighborhoods included in a high-risk flood zone because it could lower home values. As a result, he says change is slow and insufficient. It means homebuyers can be left in the dark.
It just makes us upset to know that it took my parents so many years to be able to afford to buy a house. And then just to walk away from it, it's heartbreaking.
Starnes wants others to know their risk before they find themselves underwater.
It's better to have to wait on something good than to rush into something and have to pay for it in the end.
Around the country, researchers at First Street Foundation say 15 million homes are at risk of flooding, 70% higher than FEMA estimates. Head to the story online and you can look up your address to figure out your flood risk. You can also read about tips to protect your home from flooding.
If you have a tip for the 5 on Your Side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Switching gears now to weather, of course, we do have a little bit of rain in the forecast tonight, but without the rain, we can't have the rainbows that so many people saw all across the area tonight. Jim,
yeah,
it appears that I wasn't the only one.
Right, so good friends 100 above the park, and they're looking toward the arch here. I'll get out of the way so you can see it. Now this rainbow went all the way to the other side. They sent me the other half of it, but I'll just show you one half. Kendall, Greg, and their baby Lyle, who's not even one. He's so cute. I should get you a picture of Lyle, too, coming up one of these nights. Right now, you can see Lambert, good flying weather for the moment, 77 degrees. We had some lightning in the distance. Now, the thunderstorm activity west of the airport died down, but our southern counties, it is still going strong, even in Illinois, too. So this front's moving through St. Louis right now, and that's why our wind has shifted a little bit to the west-northwest at 6 miles an hour. 77 degrees, humidity 74%, dew point 68. But look at all this lightning from northern Indiana all the way through Illinois in our eastern Illinois counties and then down in our southern Missouri counties. And some of these have been quite strong. In fact, the ones around Madison County, Illinois, Alton, Bethalto, so, and then all the way into just really missing out on Edwardsville is just some thunder shower activity, generally light. Then you get really heavy stuff just northeast of Ramsey and moving out of our viewing area. Almost went severe there. And then down around Iron County, really before 9:30, we had some reports of golf ball size hail in southern Iron County. Now just some thunderstorm activity, Potosi approaching Farmington, Park Hills, Viburnum, and Lesterville. So there's a numerous shower and thunderstorm activity down to our south. So over the next 12 hours here, shower and thunderstorm activity through probably 1 a.m. in some areas. And then we're clearing up and we're mostly sunny tomorrow. Overnight lows in the 60s, but that high today was 90. Very high, very hot, very humid. 75 degrees for that low, and 88 and 69 are the averages. And a little bit of rain at Lambert, maybe a trace, but heavier stuff, dependent upon where you were. Some areas didn't see anything, others extremely heavy downpours. And that futurecast is showing showers and storms moving out of here. There's midnight and pushing south and east of us, and then we'll see that clearing. Here's that 10-day forecast. Look at how dry we get again. It's feast or famine. We're either too wet or too dry. And now we're going to be dry all week, mostly sunny. So enjoy that. If you didn't get the rain today, sorry about that. But 84 for Sunday, 85 on Monday, and then highs near 90 Thursday, guys.
All right, that's a good-looking forecast right there. But the real question Ahmad probably might have is if Albert's home runs registered on the, you know. 2
or 3? Did he get another one?
2. We're going to talk all about it coming up next in sports. They used to call him the Machine back in the day. That nickname faded, but I think he got out the old trusty WD-40 and greased up the machine. We'll talk more about it in 2 minutes.
The Machine, right? Guys, I'm not a machine, okay? I'm just Albert. Whatever. All right, not a machine.
Why didn't you eliminate them, Albert?
Shut up.
Yeah, just Albert, all right. That was an ESPN commercial from 13 years ago. Safe to say at age 12 and Albert at age 42 would give the finest bottle of wine a run for its money right now. He entered tonight's contest 10 home runs away from 700. In the season, AP knows it's now or never. And look at all those Cardinal fans in Arizona. Looked like a home game. So the Machine, what did he do today? He locked in, he engaged on the target, and destroyed the first pitch he saw. Everyone just enjoying the ride, the teammates, the fans in the stands, but he wasn't done yet. The Machine would get locked back in, of course, looking at the iPad right there, and he was out to demolish again. Madison Bumgarner is going to have nightmares of number 5 after tonight. Albert with career homer number 692. He's 4 for 4 right now, but I have to show you some defense from the Golden Boys. Arenado and Goldschmidt, the bare hand, the pick, it's ridiculous, but the Diamondbacks would mount a comeback. The Cards lead 8-7 in the 9th inning right now. NL Central check. The Brewers trailed the Redbirds 4 games before today. Wilson Contreras from the Cubs said, why don't we make it harder for them? A walk-off in Chicago as the Baby Bears beat the Brewers 6-5. The Cardinals have to feel good heading into the final month of the season. Tonight was the big day for Bonarito 500 and Joseph Newgarden. He's won the Bonarito 500 the last 2 seasons right here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and here he was going for number 3 today. The fun got underway as planned for tonight's event. A beautiful crowd on hand, but Mother Nature had to pause it for just a second. No worries though. Newgarden got back in his car and he put his foot on the gas pedal and floored it. He wins for the 3rd straight year after the rain delay. His 5th win this season. Joseph Newgarden is once again the man at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
I don't know. I love this place. I love racing here. I've loved it since we came back in 2017. You know, we've had a lot of good success, and you know, everybody that's put this on, Curtis with the facility here, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and you know, I think Bonarito Auto Group, they've just done an amazing job, and everyone on our team, Team Penske makes a difference. So being able to drive one of these cars, you ask me how I find success, it's this group.
Speaking of winners, that's something Illinois is hoping to do this season under second-year coach Brett Bielema. Our Corey Miller drove up to Champaign this week to speak with the old ball coach, and he said the workouts and summer conditioning went great for his guys. Now he wants to see that translate into wins, and he also wants his guys to expect to win, and win a lot, that is.
I tell our players, I hope I have high expectations, but I hope theirs are even higher. If they have the highest expectations that walk this earth as players, we're going to be in a good position, right? And you have to make them understand and expect to believe that that'll happen, and hopefully that'll transform itself into more wins.
You can do that, right?
Absolutely not, but I'm going to try tomorrow morning when I go golfing.
And my golf scores look more like his forecast.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in the 80s.
I'm a little higher than that, triple digits.
Let's get one final look before we get out of here.
Yeah. So we've got clearing eventually tonight. There's some still showers, storms out there tonight. After midnight, we'll start to clear. 84 tomorrow, mostly sunny. Great golfing weather, near 90 on Thursday, but very sunny all week. Spotty storms over the weekend.
I'll take it. Thank you very much, Jim. And that's all of our time for 5 on Your Side at 10 o'clock. Saturday Night Live is next. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow morning for Today in St. Louis, starting at 6 a.m. Have a good night.